right, and we're back again for another episode of the Young Millionaire in Training Podcast. I got a super special guest here today, my man TG, super hustler. Okay, super hustler, bro. Like, so I told him, I didn't tell him what I was gonna say, but I told him I was gonna give him a little bit of an introduction. So, no slight to my other guests, no slight to my other people. None of y'all outwork this man. I can assure y'all, none of y'all outwork this man, bro. Bro, in my mind, I actually call you the plug in my mind because I'm like, bro, if I need something, I'm like, I know who I need to call because he just operates in so many different places. And the reason why that's so big for me. So when I first met Terrance, we were in high school, French class.
Yep.
I can't even remember what's the name. Yeah, right. That's when I first met Terrance, and at the time he didn't care nothing about anything but being fresh in football. That was the only thing he cared about at the time. Being fresh in football. And so it's always important to me to make sure I give flowers because it's been crazy watching your journey and watching you mature and grow into this young man and entrepreneur and father and all these different things. So one of the other things that most of y'all have probably noticed by now, that's a theme up here, especially with my guests, most of them are fathers. Most of them are Black fathers, because also in addition to just me teaching financial literacy, it's super important to me that I dispel this myth that they're not Black fathers in the community. So I purposely search out these super fathers so I'm like, no, we're really active dads. I was like, he don't post pictures of himself unless he with his son. That's the only time I ever see pictures of TG is he with his son. So with that being 7. Right. So and that's my thing. Like if he's not with his son, you don't really see pictures of him. So when I say super hustler, CEO, founder, best wings in Charlotte, drums and flat, Brinks TV. Yes, the man has his own TV. What's the correct term? I want to make sure I use the correct term.
It's a live TV streaming service.
Yeah, he has his own live TV streaming service. Okay, so with further ado, my man Terrance Graham, TG, Brinks, whatever you want to call him, he good. As long as you spell it right on his check. I know he's straight. He don't really care that much. But bro, so that's my introduction. You tell the people a little bit about yourself, man.
Man, well, first off, I want to say thank you, my good brother. It's a pleasure and a great honor to be here, bro. I'm glad that you decided to have me on your podcast. I'm gonna try to top that introduction, although it's gonna be a little hard. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. But like you said, man, we go way back since high school. I've always had this kind of entrepreneurial mindset, even if I didn't really know what it was that was, like kind of clicking in my mind. But I tell people, in middle school, I was like the first dude in the hood with a color printer, and I flipped my printer I used to print out Dragon Ball Z pictures when everybody was big on Dragon Ball Z. I used to print out Dragon Ball Z pictures in color and black and white and take them to school and sell them. Like I would sell them for 75 cents, 50 cents. It'd just be pictures of people's favorite characters, but nobody had the way to print them out. It was all from Kinston. Nobody had printers. I had like the computer, internet when it first came out, a printer when it first came out. So that was like my mindset in middle school. So, I look back on it and I can say I've always been this entrepreneurial journey. I just got, sidetracked with trouble, just being a disgruntled youth like most of us. But it's always anybody that's ever had a legitimate conversation with me can say, nah, you've always kind of been on this path. Like, I just think you found your niche now, but you've always been on that path.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, he's 100% on that. And the one thing that I've always loved about you too, TG, even though I'm going to use this term loosely just due to where we're from, but you've always been a very free thinker.
Yes.
You've always been open to more understanding of instead of what's right in front of my face. That's always been the thing about him. He's like, nah, there's something a little bit more to that. He was like, what's up with that? Like, he's always been like that. One thing that I really love about Terrance, he's not afraid to ask questions. If he wants to know something, he's going to go after it.
Yeah.
And he's not just going to take your word for it. Like, even if he trusts you, he still wants to do the research for himself to get an understanding of it, which, that's one of the things that I talk about a lot, TG. I don't like when people just regurgitate things that they haven't actually done the research on. Like, even a lot of things I say in the financial literacy space is really meant to provoke thought.
Right.
Just to get somebody to go research. Let me find out a little bit more about this. Okay. Type of deal. And that's because ultimately you need to be able to learn yourself. And he's a prime example of learning how to fish. He's a prime example of that. So, bro, with that being said, tell me about how did you come across drums and flats? And before I let him actually tell you that, my man got sauces. Like, matter of fact, I didn't even bring it up here. He ship his own sauces. So we're not talking, we way past just, hey, I'm gonna show up at on your block and sell your wings. But tell me how you kind of got into drum and flats, man.
Sure. And just to go a little segue, man, we shipped to 39 or 50 states so far. So nice. Like it's really growing and it's really beautiful to watch. But drums and flats was started, like it was the start of the year my son was born. My son was born on June 1st in 2020, and my current employer put me out for maternity leave. I had a corporate job, suit and tie every day, company car, that good stuff. And but June 2020 was also when COVID was kicking off.
Yep.
So in the summer, that's when it was like just panic. Nobody knew what was going on, but it had made me over here, and we were in pandemic mode. And so anyway, my son was born. They put me out on maternity leave. I think I had 60 days worth of that. So that put me around August. They laid me off. They was like, when I was supposed to come back, they was like, hey, we're slowing down. The customer's not picking up, blah, 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 which was true. Like, it's not, they weren't lying to me. It just, the world was on stop. So once they furloughed me, so to speak, that's when I had to figure out a way to make money. I got this newborn son. I still got all these bills to pay. So I was trying to figure out a way how to make money, and I always was cooking. I used to cook soul food with my mom. And the thing about selling soul food plates, because even though I was selling soul food with my mom, I was doing all the marketing, all the hand-to-hand, getting orders. And whenever I would go to people with a plate, like, hey, we got turkey wings, collard greens, rice, and just all the soul food fixings. And people would look at me like, you don't know how to cook that, or what you know about that, or it's not going to be cooked right. You're too young to know how to cook, this, that, and the third. So when I got to this point in August and I was trying to think of a new endeavor, with the food, I was like, well, what can I do or what can I cook that people really won't question? And then what's like accepted everywhere? Like you said, with my research, I really thought about it versus just jumping out there. I was like, what can I do to avoid those questions? And then what can I also cook that's loved and, enjoyed everywhere, but people kind of have a hard time finding, at a high quality.
Right.
And I was like, wings and fries. And I still tell people, I looked at the Chick-fil-A model and saw what they were doing, just selling chicken and fries, different variations, but all they sell chicken and fries. And I was like, you know what? This is what I'm going this is what I'm going to go. I'm going to try to sell some wings. I started doing it with the family. I started doing taste testings with my family, my son's mom family. Just taking wings, big platters of wings and sauces that I was creating over there, letting them try it, seeing their faces. Everybody's reaction was crazy. Started posting pictures of it to kind of build that social build up and that demand of it. People wanted to try it. And then we hit the ground running from there, man. But it all started with the birth of my son. Like the day my son was born was the last day I worked.
Wow.
Yeah, that's gonna be.
I didn't know that part of the story.
Yeah, that's gonna be when when the national story comes out. That's gonna be that is my story. Like the day my son was born, I went to work that morning, came home that afternoon, worked the whole shift. My son mom didn't call me or nothing. She just thugged it out. Came home that afternoon or that evening, she was on the floor in labor. It's like, what in the world? And we rushed to the hospital. and that's it. That was my last day of work, man.
Wow, that's dope. Because I did not even know that part of the story. I knew it had something to do around the time of your son, but I know, granted, so he is and I use this term loosely because he does have a good relationship, but single father. His son lives with him full time. So I thought it was something just surrounding the fact that your son was with you full time. On that, I did not know all that piece of it. On it. So no, definitely thank you for sharing that. So the thing that's been so great about watching drums and flats grow for me. So I talk a lot about entrepreneurship. I talk about finding your quote unquote side hustle. I talk about creating businesses and all that. And I've been able to watch it come from these the very small, where we just, like you said, you just dropping wing plates off to people, to setting up shop and people coming to you.
Right.
Well, I remember the first post. I should have actually went back and looked at it now, but the first post where I was shocked when you were talking about how many pounds of wings that you had to buy and how expensive they were. And because you were buying something like, was it 20 pounds of wings or something? It was something like something.
I was getting up to like 200 pounds of wings.
Yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. It was something crazy. And I was like, oh, he really doing this.
Really selling
like, I was like, yeah, he's really doing this.
That's a lot of chicken. Yeah, I was getting like 200 pounds every 3 or 4 days, you know, roughly once a week, on two times a week on extremely busy days, like, or during the summer, or, you know, like, or football season. I was definitely doing about 300 to 350 pounds a week during football season.
Yeah. So, matter of fact, talk to me about that. So, since you're learning on the fly, especially when you're talking, because I know that was part of the thing, you were having to find it. This is also during COVID when you're having these shortages, or your logistical shortages, all those kind of things. How were you able to start to peep your costs, or start to normalize your costs, or figure out your costs so that you could have a price point to sell stuff at?
So one of my luxuries, which you should also know from being, you know, growing up with me in high school and all that, is I was always good at math. Like, I always loved numbers. Always loved, you know, I know how to break everything down, you know, per what item. Like, so in the very early stages, I knew what I was paying per chicken wing. I knew what I was paying per plate. I even knew what it cost me to make a plate. And once COVID kicked off, I didn't really see a lot of, like, the wing shortages and all that stuff really didn't start kicking off until like the end of 2021. Okay. But, you know, 2020 all the way to like the first 6 or 7 months of 2021, it really wasn't, you know, too hard to price point, you know, or to keep the plates cost effective, because I had extremely great prices compared to like the large chain wing places, and we still were turning a pretty good profit. It was just that once this inflation hit, and then once that wing shortage hit, that's when it really became hard. But I had a great relationship with my chicken supplier by that point, that, you know, they were able to just either put me some stuff to the side, or they would call me prematurely, like, hey, I know you just got 200 pounds 2 days ago, but we're about to be out for the next 2 weeks, so you might want to come get this last 100 pounds I got, you know. So it was little heads up like that, you know, always kept me floating with chicken wings. Now, ingredients for the sauces and plates and napkins, you know, stuff like that, no issue. But it was really the chicken wings that, having that relationship with my supplier really helped me on the back end when COVID really did bog everything down. And, you know, the chicken wing shortage that I say with, I put that those quotations emphasized. Once the chicken wing shortage hit, we were already like pretty much set, you know, in play to kind of handle it. That it affected us by the price increase, but not by the ability to find chicken wings. Like, I saw a lot of restaurants that really couldn't even find chicken wings. Like, for example, when Wingstop switched to Thigh Stop, like, that was my, like, whoa, they can't find chicken? Okay, something's really wrong.
Right. Bro, one of the things that you said that stuck out to me about your business model. So if you notice, he said he built a relationship with a supplier. So a lot of times the things that I find with people who go into similar type businesses, they just go in the grocery store, being straight retail for everything.
Yeah, right.
So at what point did you switch that over to going from, I'm just going in the grocery store, picking up all the wings they got, to let me find a supplier? Like, what was that process kind of like?
So my chicken supplier is an actual chicken plant. So it's not like a grocery store. It's where they is Sanderson Farm chicken? Yeah. So similar to Sanderson Farm, but not as big. Like, it was kind of local, but they did everything in house, from the kill to the breakdown, the cutting up, and all that good stuff. And I had a relationship with them from catering with my mom, because we would go to the same chicken plant to go get chicken breasts when we were catering weddings or whatever. We would go to the same chicken plant to get our leg quarters when we were selling plates. So they already knew me from there, and it was pretty much the same guy I was buying chicken from. So it was like, either I could come in here and just act like a mute and just hand him my money, he hand me my chicken, or I could kind of try to build a relationship with this guy. And it started with the selling the plates with my mom, and then when I transitioned to the wings, they already knew me by name. So it was just like, okay, now I need chicken wings versus chicken breast or leg quarters.
Yeah. No, so bro, you actually raised another point too. So if there's anything that you ever learned about TG, if you've been in his presence for probably more than 5 minutes,
Right.
great conversationalist. He's a great people person. Like he's gonna talk to you. He make you feel like you've known him forever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
anytime that you in his presence for more than 5 minutes. It was even funny, bro, when you used to like put up some of the posts and reviews and stuff that people would say about your wings, and like you having conversations with people, especially when you had like them super long lines and you were trying to hold it while y'all were getting stuff together.
Right.
And some of the things they say, you know, it was like they knew you and they were like, nah, he just the dude that sell chicken. They were like, nah, oh no, he just the dude that sell chicken, but it's fire though.
No, man. I was having a conversation not too long ago with a fellow business owner, and I was literally telling him, I don't care. It doesn't matter if you sell the best price water or the best tasting water on the market or whatever you sell could be the best. Your customers, or when you're a small business, not when you're a conglomerate, but when you're a small business, your customers have to actually like you. Like to some degree, they have to. They want to patronize with you. Like I don't care how great your product is. If you give them ish or give them your tail to kiss or whatever, you know what I mean. You probably get that sale one time, but that customer won't become a recurring customer. And that's been my thing since day one is I want recurring customers. I want people to come back, not only for the food, but for the quality of service they receive. They're both just as important with me.
Absolutely. No, and that's been like, it's been crazy watching. And actually the speed at which you've been able to scale up, because you're talking 2 years.
It's 2 years.
Like almost not today, like this month, 2 years. It ain't even been fully yet, I don't think, right?
It would be 2 years that we've been selling chicken wings, but in the eyes of the state, we got recognized. Shout out to my brother at Shack Accounting Services, but we got recognized September the 10th, 2020. So September the 10th is my official start date, as an official business. So that always, so my 2-year date will really be September the 10th. But we were selling wings in July and August of 2020. So, it's all about how you want to gauge it. We've been operating for 2 years, but in the eyes of the government or any banking institution that I want to talk to, we're not in 2 years, per our LLC paperwork.
Nah, dope. And actually, bro, I got Jarrell. He coming out here in a couple of. I think he probably be an episode or two after yours. Actually,
okay,
I'm doing him too. Yeah,
I can't wait to hear that, bro. That's a genuine brother right there.
Yeah, I know, because I wanted to chop it up because we always have them like super in-depth financial conversations.
I'm just about to say, that lingo that we don't understand. Yeah, just me talking.
Yeah, I know, bro. We be like floating on some Dragon Ball Z type shit. Actually. Yeah, we be just on some other stuff, but every time we talk, but no, that's definitely super dope with that. So, bro, with you scaling up, like you said, you started and then you got into the wings. So tell me about like when you used to set up, because I know you used to have like the long lines and all that kind of stuff. So where do you go like for a place, or did you just set up different places in town, or how did that kind of look?
So when the first day we started selling wings, and I wish my old Facebook didn't get hacked, or I could really have these dates. Yeah. But the first day we started selling wings, we set up in my sister's driveway. No idea the amount of, the capacity of people we would get. No idea the volume of people we should get, I should say. No idea, how busy it was going to be. We just set up with like 20, 30 pounds of chicken and posted it on Facebook that we were live. And man, we had a line down the street. We ran out of chicken so fast. I even had customers that was pulling up like, "You out of chicken? I'll go to the store and get you some. Just cook me some of this chicken." Like it was crazy, but it was also like eye-opening. Like, okay, we got something here. So after setting up at my sister's house that one day, after we done blew out one of her sockets from trying to power all these fryers in her house, whatever, I transitioned to my garage, and I set up my garage as a commercial kitchen. I called two of my good friends. One of them is HVAC / an electrician. The other guy's an electrician. They wired my garage with some powerful outlets to power my fryers. I set up 4 industrial size commercial fryers in my garage. Set up my table orientation so we can, crank out the plates. And we started in the garage, and we just labeled it as a ghost kitchen. I had got a whiff of ghost kitchens in California. They hadn't even made it that way on the East Coast. And I was like, oh, that's possible? You can set it up as a ghost kitchen? And my son's mom's family in Delaware, who are some super entrepreneurs with the cotton candy game. They got the cotton candy game. Nice. Rock in Delaware. And they were telling me, they was like, yeah, this was Thanksgiving 2020. Thanksgiving 2020, they was telling me, they was like, yeah, we got DoorDash come pick up our cotton candy at the house. I said, at the house? He was like, yeah, at the house. DoorDash should come pick it up as long as you got your business, your paperwork, and people willing to order it. DoorDash should come pick it up. We came home from that trip. I signed up for DoorDash that day. And that's when we got signed up for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub, Postmates, and then with our online presence. And then that's when those long lines that you was talking about, we had lines lined down the neighborhood, lines around the cul-de-sac. That's when it was like, oh, okay, Drums and Flats is here to stay, and it's definitely a product that the people enjoy and they're coming back for.
No, bro, that was actually an amazing segue into my next question. So one of the other things that you will actually see, because I have not done an episode on this yet, but I want to kind of do some hinting at it now since I have you here, and I know it's something that you've been super active in and passionate about. Bro, so talk about your process of when you decided to switch it and start using business credit.
Man, so again, just doing research, I found out that what you can't find on Google, or what you can't, if you can't understand the verbiage in the article, there's a Facebook group for it. So I started, just joining all these Facebook groups, and I started, seeing groups that were saying, that the title of the group might say something like, gain $100,000 in business credit with your EIN only. I was like, wait, that's intriguing. So I started, just fishing through these groups, and I started learning that, how important cash flow is, that how you want to keep the cash flow within your business, especially starting out, and how it's just, important to start utilizing this business credit, start, creating these relationships with vendors. I was realizing that, all this money I was spending with Amazon and Sam's Clubs and Restaurant Depot, even though I was a business, I was buying like a retailer, like a normal consumer. And if, I wasn't building any relationships with these people. So I definitely transitioned from that, just from what I learned in these business groups, just on how important it is that once that money comes into your business, you want to keep it in there before, you don't want to every dollar that you gain, you don't want to have to spend it on an expense. You want to be able to keep that in your bank account for, as long as you can, really, because your cash flow is king. And so yeah, that was like the biggest factor of me, like, okay. And then once I learned business credit, it was like just mind blowing that, man, I'm this close to forgetting my social security number. Like, you don't need to know my EIN number. I don't know what to tell you. You need my social number to the wrong person,
bro. Because is the reason I partly brought that up, because I had a little I don't know, Dave Ramsey got on my nerves. And I ain't about to sit here and bash him, but he got on my nerves a little bit because people have been sending me stuff he's been saying lately. And I'm like, hey, he probably just not talking to your demographic, and that's cool. But one of the things that kind of came across with that is I said, when it comes to debt, because, a lot of times people like, well, no debt. I said, I don't believe in personal debt. Like, I pay for everything in my personal life cash, but my business, no, that's finance. I'm like, well, I'm not taking risks with my money. I'm taking risks with their money. Like, I'm not doing that,
my brother. And when I realized that that's one of the biggest lies we've ever been told, is that debt is bad. And yes, you're right. Personal debt is bad. When you moving over here with this business debt, they love that stuff, man. Business debt is all right. Like, others people money. Like, I started learning all the Trumps and the Kanye West and the Tom Brady's, all these people still taking out loans. These are billionaires still taking out loans. It's because they're funding their endeavors or their investments with other people's money. Yeah, it was a game changer, man. Like, yeah, that's definitely what I would like to do, especially if you got a winner. Like, yeah, that's definitely, I would like to fund that with someone else's money.
Exactly. And bro, and that's one of the things that's been, like, when I say I love watching the matriculation, because when I saw you catch on to that, I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna be all right. Yeah, right. He's gonna be all right. Yeah, I know he's gonna be all right, because so much deprogramming. Because you actually just hit on it. It's so much deprogramming because everybody either they learn debt bad, you know, cash, or then you get into the argument because it's one of those big arguments where I always talk about if you would take the cash or the credit, and I was like, because I don't care anything about credit for myself, but if you literally said, would you take the cash or the credit for your business, my answer would totally change.
Right, absolutely.
That's why I go so hard about the question, because they were like, well, credit is king and you can do leverage, and I was like, why are you leveraging yourself?
Why are you leveraging yourself? Exactly.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
And that's why I can't even engage in what you're saying, because I know you don't really know what you're talking about. You're regurgitating.
Right.
Because if you actually knew what you thought you knew, you would be doing it with your business. So you need to take the cash because you don't know what you're doing.
even if you.
I lost you. Can you hear me? I lost your sound. I can't hear you. Okay, I got you.
Okay, I was on a Zoom earlier that did that, but what I was gonna say was, this is for anybody that's listening to this great podcast, because we are all young millionaires in training.
Absolutely.
But I lost my train of thought with the TV, with the mic going on.
No. You were saying even if and we are edited out, so don't worry. But you were saying even if you wanted, I think you were getting ready to say, if you want to do something with your personal credit or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. What I was gonna say was, even if you don't even know what you want to do as a business yet, you can start a business as your name, and just move everything over to the business side of it. Like, you don't even have to know what you want your business to do, but you can start, just gaining that knowledge and that business credit and those vendor relationships with just your name, but get an EIN number under your name instead of using your social security number all the time. And then once you do figure out what you want to do, then you go get you a DBA for that bit. I mean, we out you, brother. We are young millionaires in training for sure.
And that right there, bro, he just gave y'all literally $1 million worth of advice, and y'all ain't even know. Like, just that line by itself, just because, bro. And that's one of the things. So if when I talk about when I say things like, go ahead and do a business plan, go ahead and do this, like, because people, they're always waiting on the money, and I'm like, we can find you the money.
We can find the money. Yes. You
need the plan in order to get the money. You can't just show up with the idea, quote unquote. You have to have some more formal plan, and like you said, just doing that, man. No, that's great, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's why I wanted to touch on it, because I know that's something that you've been super deep and heavy into.
Yes.
One of the things that's so crazy for me, especially, and I see it on the podcast and even within the financial literacy. So I'm like some weird Frankenstein financial monster. And what I mean by that is, because I touch in like so many different areas. And so, I might be talking about mortgage. We might be talking about the stock market. We might be talking about, a savings account. Like, I touch in so many different areas. So sometimes it takes me a long time to get to some of those things.
It's called a beautiful mind, brother. It's called a beautiful mind.
Man, it's crazy. So thank you for touching on that. And I am going to do a whole episode on that at some point. I promise y'all. But, bro, anywho, back to TG. So, bro, segueing, Brinks TV. Bro, I got to be honest with you. That one's probably been the most impressive to me. Like, I'm thoroughly impressed myself, because I was like, wait, my man got a TV station.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, hold the fan. Y'all like, well, what are we talking about right now?
Well, I get that all the time. I get TV show. You got a TV channel. I'm like, no, I have a TV service. I have my own service, my own television service, and it's so Brinks TV is it's IPTV, internet provided television, and it's basically your streaming live TV, just like when you get Spectrum or not Spectrum, but like AT&T Uverse, and you're streaming their TV, or YouTube TV, and you're streaming live television. I have an app that does the exact same thing. And I've been involved with IPTV as far as I've been using it as a consumer the last 5 or 6 years, probably longer than that. Me and my fam, we haven't paid for a cable bill in who knows how long. But what I was able to do while being on this entrepreneurial journey was I tracked down the owner via Telegram. Just started asking questions, finding out who owns this service, the service that I was paying for. Just finding out who owned it, who was the higher ups, and I just kept getting passed up till I finally made it to the guy. And I was just telling him about him. He didn't know me personally because I'm just a number in his system. I just pay my bill every month. But on Telegram, I was talking to him, and I was very like walking on thin ice because I didn't want to overstep. I didn't know, I didn't want to be like, hey man, I'm trying to take your stuff and resell it, but if you're interested, we can kind of partner here. And I was just talking to him like that. Like, I've had it for 5 or 6 years. I was wondering I was like, man, I know a bunch of people that would benefit from your service, just very like touching it with kid gloves on. And he just stopped me. Like, he was like, man, it sounds like you're interested in my reseller program. I have that. I was like, well, here we go. And he was like, it's one stipulation. You can't call it what I call it. And I was like, well, sir, I didn't want to call it what you call it. Like, so we're still on the same page here. Right. And he was like, you got to get your own app. Your app can't look like mine, but I have an app guy. Our app guy's in London. He's like, I have an app guy. Okay, hook me up. He connected me with the app guy. And the rest has been history. But I've always been involved with IPTV, but as far as reselling it, I've always wanted to sell it, but I never sat down and just started following breadcrumbs to see if I can track down the actual owner. Mm-hmm. And once I was able to do that, and now we have a great relationship. He loves me. He said I'm his best reseller. He's like, man, I wish everyone could get it as quickly as you do. I was like, well, we're selling TV here. We're not selling rocks.
Nah, absolutely. That's why I said, bro, that joint has been dope. Now, when you talk about something I was truly impressed by, like I'm impressed by drums and flats, but yeah, that one. Cause I was like, yo, you blew my mind with that one. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. That one, yeah. Cause I seen it, and I was like, okay, all right, all right, share. Cause I'm always gonna share stuff. Hey, that one was spot on.
Yeah, I'm coming up on about almost a year, not even almost a year, probably about 6-7 months on that, and I'm reaching that wonderful word of mouth pocket. To where I don't even got to really promote it as much. It's like everyone's telling their family and friends and coworkers and families. Like every day I'm getting that call. Like, hey, such and such told me about this and such and such. So it's doing exactly what I wanted it to do, because if I can have a 5 or 6 year run with it, reselling it the same way I had a 5 or 6 year run purchasing it, and I can just continuously build on top of that, and the customers stay because it's TV. It's not something that they're going to use every month. The overhead is relatively low. We're charging $15 to $20 a month. That's what people spend on food daily. And while you're looking at it as, oh, this is just $15 to $20 a month, I'm looking at it as, oh, I'm trying to get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 subscribers a month paying me $20. So it's building. It's building slowly but surely, and I've been enjoying the ride, man.
Nah, absolutely. And also there will be a link down in the description to this episode on that, as well as all the other social media, and we get to that. So make sure go pick up your Brinks TV, okay?
Cut the cord, get rid of the dish on your roof that looks ugly, that's outdated. Come see us. We every channel that's on TV, every movie channel, every sporting event, your kids won't miss another pay-per-view event. And we have 24/7 live stream, commercial-free streaming, all included for $20 a month. You can't beat it.
No, you can't beat that. No, absolutely. I think I need to get me some. Why don't I have any? You know what? We're gonna talk about that.
You probably don't watch a lot of TV.
I honestly do not. Which is furthermore why I need it. So a few times, because I'm just paying for stuff that I don't even watch. I do not watch a lot of TV. I'm always doing something. But no, that's super dope, bro. So. Bro, before we kind of get out of here, last question for you. So, what's been the hardest lesson for you that you had to learn on this entrepreneurial journey, especially the last 2 years?
The hardest lesson, and I'm gonna piggyback off TB on this one. Being cheap, and not investing in yourself, and looking at instead of looking at money spent as an investment, looking at it as just money being gone or being cheap, man. And I've learned that the hard way several times. just by shortchanging supplier or shortchanging equipment I needed or shortchanging ingredients, you know, not going with the name brand, trying to go with the off brand just to save a few dollars, and then the taste just tastes terrible in my sauce now. Now I got to throw a large batch away because I didn't try to buy some cheap butter or something, you know, just crazy things like that. And it all boils down to me just being cheap. And now, you know, I definitely like invest, I make it, I put it right back into the business, which is why cash flow is so king, because you can put the money that you make right back into your business. And it don't always have to be you paying expenses. It could just be you reinvesting in something else that you need to get kicked off. So to make a long story short, my brother, and to piggyback off the king, OG Black definitely was being cheap and not knowing that it takes money to make money, but not letting that click fully in my head.
No, that's super dope. And a bar. And for those, in case you missed that, OG Black,
go back and listen to that.
Yeah, make sure you listen to it, because he was dropping gems. Because part of it, and I'm kind of highlight him because of course we all know each other. So the thing that I had told TB on that, and why I wanted him to come up there, especially as a independent artist, was so often, you know, people make light of people being artists or rappers, and I'm like, but y'all not really understanding the business side. It's because y'all getting some of these cats that don't really take it seriously. But when you actually talk to somebody that takes it seriously, they have a whole business model that functions it in such a way that it's like, it's crazy. And because, matter of fact, I don't think we talked about it on the show, because I told you we ended up having a better conversation after I got off. He was telling me about you know, a comment somebody had made to him, an older lady, talking about if you in your she didn't know that he was an artist, and had said something along the lines of, you know, you in your 30s, like who would be in their 30s still trying to be a rapper, not knowing that he was.
Right.
But on the same token, I think he said she was in her 50s. I was like, but if you had said to her, you've been working here for 20 years and you don't own the company yet,
right?
Like what do that mean? Like, okay, because you're trying to be so condescending, but you don't necessarily understand everything from totality. Yeah, he's a rapper, but he always own whatever it is unless he chooses not to.
Right.
You don't own anything like that. That doesn't somehow put you on some moral high ground because you have a job. And that's one of the things that I think is really, really big on that. So no,
I just want to say one more thing for here. I was, again, because I find myself having I've begun to change my circle, and a lot of my conversations are usually either with business owners or mentors. And I was talking to one of my mentors who, we were going through this 30, we was talking about age and you know, the age really, if you're ever worried about if you're too old or if it's too late, just think about it like, and he used me for an example. I'm 33, but I'm from 18 to 33 is only 15 years. So I've been really, you know, from 18 and under, you living with your mother, you know, you see a child, you going to school, all that good stuff. From 18 to 33 is 15 years. So you've had 15 years as an adult to chase this dream. Well, we all know from 18 to about 25 to 26, you're gonna F off.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're partying, doing dumb stuff because now you're an adult, you're out on your own. So now you're gonna F off all that time. So you really got from 26 to 33 where you might be focused. And that's a very small window. So if you're 33, still trying to make it, man, you're right on time. Because you've only been trying since you were about 26, 27.
Absolutely. No, bro, and that's spot on. So, like, I talk about the whole young millionaire training thing. So, number one, the average millionaire, I think, is only like 52 or 57, somewhere around exactly what it is. Number one, I was like, you can do it at 50 and still be a young millionaire. However, like, I don't get into the age stuff because I used to get into it a whole lot. I was like, I gotta have this by.
Me too.
And bro, the one that really like took me over the top was Oprah, because she didn't become a millionaire until she was like 33. And I said, bro, you know, we think about Oprah, and at least in our community, you know, she's money. Like, that's the money person is Oprah. And nobody's like, oh my God, she didn't become a millionaire until she was 33. Like, nobody says that. Nobody cares. Oh, you can't hear me? Let me go.
He said,
yep, you back? You good?
Yeah. I don't know what's
Yeah, I don't know. You, hey, bro, we edit it out. Don't worry.
Yeah. But you look at Oprah, and that's the last thing I heard you say. You look at Oprah,
you
33,
and she's became a millionaire at 33, and nobody now looks at her and was like, "Oh my God, you didn't become a millionaire till you were 33."
Like, right, exactly.
Oh my God, you're so terrible. And that's once I like really got that concept, I was like, I don't care. Like, okay. Yeah, like what you want me to say? Okay, I'm old. Sure. Like, what I'm gonna do? Just give up? Like, what I'm gonna do? On that, bro. One other thing I need to actually touch on this. So a few episodes ago, I think it was actually with Malcolm, if I'm not mistaken, we were referencing Dogecoin, whatever. So I actually want to say this so I can say this, bro, because I'm sorry, because I gave him some bad information. I want to make sure that I say that publicly so you can hear, because
you owe some bands, baby.
Nah, because I was incorrect. I was now granted in my incorrectness. If we look today, I don't look so incorrect.
Right.
Today, however, bro, because the thing that was so crazy about it, because what I said was correct. Because I told him, I was like, bro, don't waste your time. Like, whatever, bro, don't waste your time with it.
Right.
Dogecoin, because we talked about it, and it actually just goes to show like how uncharted of territory crypto is. I have no way of knowing that Elon Musk was going to come in and endorse it.
Right.
Like, I just had no way of knowing that, because had I even said it,
hindsight.
Yeah, right. And so now that even caused me to have to come and look at some things from a more open-minded thing. I was like, bro, literally anything can happen. Like, this is the wild west.
Wild west, yes, sir.
I said a little bit, actually a lot of bit at this point. Still, it's the wild west. So no, I had to say that I'll take accountability. I never mind being wrong, and I was incorrect. So I'm sorry, brother. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nah, you know what? You good. I actually shot myself in the foot, man. Yeah. I was working my last job I was working at. I remember vividly. I purchased some on Robinhood for like $9. It was when it was way under a penny. I got an astronomical amount for $9.
Yeah.
Like, this is before it pumped. This is before it ever touched 1 cent. Like, this was nobody was saying it would ever hit 1 cent. And it pumped a little bit, but nowhere near 1 cent. And I sold it for like $10. And I kicked myself every day because it was like, what did I need that $10 for? Like, nothing. If I would just let that sit, there would have been thousands of dollars in Dogecoin. So I screwed myself too, bro. It wasn't just you.
Nah, because I felt bad about that one, bro. Because I reached out, I was like, bro, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Blame Malcolm. No, I'm playing.
Y'all were my two information heads. Y'all were my two.
Blame Malcolm. Yeah, blame him because Malcolm put me on game with them. So blame Malcolm. Yeah, we're gonna blame Malcolm. So Malcolm, you listening? We blaming you. Nah, I'm playing. It's not Malcolm. That one was on me. That is not Malcolm's fault. He actually give really great advice. So, but no, brother, thank you so much for hanging out, having the interview.
My pleasure.
People, listeners. So this is what you need to do. Go down in the description. Cop your Brinks TV. Then I want you to go on Amazon. We're gonna have that link up there too. And I think there's a website as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Website and Amazon. Get you some wing sauce, okay?
And Walmart.com.
Walmart.com. I didn't even know you was on Walmart. See, bro, that's what I be talking about right there. I didn't even know you was on Walmart now. Okay.
We there too, my brother.
Yeah, we're gonna get you. He gonna ship it out to you. It gets there quick. Like I said, bro, when I tell you, and this is no exaggeration, hand the guy, bro, the lemon pepper is on rotation every week at my crib, okay? We on rotation every week, at least once a week. We on rotation.
I love it, my brother.
On that. So cop that, get your wings, sit down, watch you some Brinks TV.
There you go. I love that.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So get your wings, and it don't go on just wings. When I say it's in rotation, bro, we done had it on pork chops. We had it on chicken. I just tried it on a pork loin the other day. It wasn't the lemon pepper. It was, what flavor was that we tried on the? I don't know, because we done tried, I think, all of them. I think
you had all of them. I think your first order you brought all of them. You and the wife.
Yeah, we just caught them all. I was like, I'm about to try them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about to try them all. I love the lemon pepper and the Asian joint. Those are my two faves. Yeah.
That's a great salad dressing. We just found it out. That's the best salad dressing you ever have in your life. Asian persuasion.
Yeah. Them
salad dressing you'd ever have in your life.
Yeah, them two is dope. We eat those Yeah, we done tried them on some of everything, to be honest, bro. Yeah, I'm saying, cause my wife will make some shrimp with them, and I'm gonna let us go, but she'll make some shrimp with them with the Asian. She'll boil them in that. And then like I said, obviously the wings is unmatched. That go without saying. But so y'all go cop that. It's all gonna be in the description to the episode.
Come see us.
Also, brush out your social media out. We probably gonna have another episode about that, okay? Because we really want to break that one down. So I saved that one, but
please, because I've learned some more stuff since our first conversation. That is like, woo, boy, everybody, nobody. It's all a facade. That's all I'm gonna say. But you can find me on. You can find the Drums and Flats on Instagram at drums DRUMS, the letter N, flats FLATS, and another S behind it. So it's Drums and Flats with 2 S's. You can follow us on Facebook at Drums and Flats CLT. You can find out more information about Brinks TV at Brinks TV CLT. And we are also on TikTok with the same addresses, Drums and Flats with 2 S's and Brinks TV CLT.
All right, my man, bro. I appreciate you. I love you, bro.
Love you too, brother.
And we good. All right, and everybody else, y'all be good. Until next time, make sure you keep training up.